In 1769, on the rugged island of Corsica, a boy named Napoleon Bonaparte was born into a family of minor nobility. He was short, intense, and spoke French with a thick accent. His classmates mocked him. No one could have imagined this outsider would one day rule most of Europe. Sent to military school in France at age 9, Napoleon devoured books on history, strategy, and ancient generals, especially Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. When the French Revolution exploded in 1789, it tore the old world apart and created the perfect chaos for a man of ruthless talent. His first big break came at the Siege of Toulon in 1793. At just 24 years old, Napoleon commanded the artillery and used bold positioning to force the British fleet to abandon the city. The victory was stunning. He was promoted to brigadier general overnight. The revolution had found its sword. By 1795, royalists tried to seize Paris. Napoleon was given command of the defense. He positioned cannons perfectly and unleashed a whiff of grape shot that shredded the attackers. The streets ran red. The government was saved, and Napoleon became a hero of the Republic. Then came his masterpiece, the 1796 Italian campaign. Outnumbered and facing superior Austrian forces, the 27-year-old general moved with incredible speed. He won battle after battle through daring maneuvers, speed, and morale. His troops adored him. In 1 year, he transformed a starving, ragged army into a victorious force that looted northern Italy. He convinced the Directory to let him invade Egypt, but aiming to cut British trade routes to India. The campaign was mixed. He destroyed the Mamluks at the Battle of the Pyramids, but the British destroyed his fleet at the Nile. Trapped, he abandoned his army and returned to France a legend anyway. France was a mess, corrupt, bankrupt, and unstable. On November 9, 1799, Napoleon executed the coup of 18 Brumaire. He dissolved the Directory and became first consul. At 30 years old, he effectively ruled France. He immediately brought order. He created the Napoleonic Code, a clear, modern legal system that spread across Europe. He reformed education, banking, and roads. But his greatest love remained war. In 1804, he crowned himself Emperor Napoleon I in Notre Dame Cathedral. He took the crown from the Pope's hands and placed it on his own head. The message was clear: his power came from himself, not God or the people. Napoleon's empire now stretched across Europe. Only Britain, Russia, and Austria still opposed him. On December 2, 1805, at Austerlitz, he fought his greatest battle. Facing a larger combined Austrian-Russian army, Napoleon deliberately weakened his right flank to lure them in. As the enemy attacked, he unleashed a devastating assault on the center and captured the high ground. The Son of Austerlitz became legendary. It was one of the most brilliant tactical victories in history. At his peak, Napoleon controlled territory from Spain to Poland. He married Marie-Louise of Austria to legitimize his dynasty. He seemed unstoppable. Hubris grew. Napoleon's continental system, an attempt to economically strangle Britain, backfired and hurt his own allies. In 1812, he invaded Russia with over 600,000 men. The Russians refused to fight a decisive battle. They burned everything behind them. Napoleon reached Moscow, but found it abandoned and set on fire. With winter coming, he had no choice but to retreat. Starvation, cold, and Cossack attacks destroyed his army. Only about 40,000 made it back. It was a catastrophe. Europe turned against him. In 1813, at the Battle of the Nations near Leipzig, a massive coalition crushed his forces. Paris fell in 1814. Napoleon was forced to abdicate and exiled to the tiny island of Elba. In March 1815, Napoleon escaped Elba and returned to France. The army sent to stop him joined him instead. He reclaimed power for the famous 100 Days. But it ended at Waterloo on June 18, 1815. Against Wellington and Blucher's forces, Napoleon's final gamble failed. The Imperial Guard broke. The dream was over. Exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, Napoleon spent his last years dictating his memoirs, justifying his actions, and shaping his own legend. He died on May 5, 1821, probably from stomach cancer. He rose from nothing, conquered Europe, spread revolutionary ideas and legal reforms across a continent, and then lost everything. Napoleon Bonaparte remains one of history's greatest military geniuses, and its ultimate cautionary tale of ambition.